I was looking around on campus thinking, well, now every boy with brown hair and green eyes is potentially my brother.
30 years ago, Bryce Cleary donated sperm with the promise that he would father only 5 donor children and that they would all be born on the opposite coast.
I'm one of Bryce Cleary's.
Bryce Cleary's.
I'm a donor sibling.
I'm a donor child.
And I'm a donor child of Bryce Cleary.
DNA testing has revealed that promise was not kept, and he has at least 20 children in the Oregon area and more beyond.
You have a medical student that was brought in to participate in a sperm donation program and was lied to in order to get him to participate.
As Bryce matches with a new donor child every 6 months with no end in sight, he has filed a lawsuit for $5.2 million against Oregon Health and Science University.
It was very interesting, the idea that somebody essentially is suing because you exist.
30 years ago, Bryce was a young medical student at OHSU. Responding to a call for volunteers at their fertility clinic, he became a sperm donor, hoping to help couples struggling with infertility. Back then, Bryce was assured by the clinic staff that his donations would result in at most 5 children, all born in the East Coast, far from his Oregon home. He was also promised anonymity. Decades passed. He married, had 3 sons, and settled into a successful medical practice.
My name is James Cleary, and I am Bryce Cleary's second-born natural son.
But in 2018, the past caught up with him. One morning, Bryce logged into his new Ancestry.com account. Expecting to explore his Swiss and Irish heritage, he instead uncovered the twisted truth. He received a message from a woman named Alison Ali. She informed him that there were not just a few donor children, but potentially 14 or more, some living in the same town as Bryce.
I told him I can confirm there are more than 5 and that we are all from the Oregon area.
He even learned from Alison that one of his donor children was a woman who had once worked in his medical building.
I was looking around on campus thinking, well, now every boy with brown hair and green eyes is potentially my brother.
The donor children developed anxieties of their own, noting that their children and grandchildren will need to do DNA tests to make sure they aren't dating one of their relatives.
I'm expecting my 3rd child, and the idea of my children having dozens and dozens of cousins in the area is concerning for my children as well as myself.
As the number of donor children continued to grow, reaching over 20, he filed a lawsuit against OHSU, alleging fraud and emotional distress, seeking $5.2 million in damages.
OHSU has been deceitful and reckless. Their actions have caused irreparable harm.
This has put those children and my own natural-born children at unacceptable risk.
Cleary said that although he knew he didn't have any legal obligations towards the children, he was overwhelmed by the moral dilemma.
I don't feel that Dr. Cleary signed up to be a father to all of these children, so I'm definitely not looking for any sort of that relationship from him, but I feel for him.
He logged off Ancestry.com and made his Facebook page private. Then, at least for the time being, he decided to cut off communication with the donor children he'd been speaking with.
This is crazy. I can't be emotionally invested in all these people.
Bryce has since tried to raise awareness on the issue and push for reform.
There's no meaningful regulation on this $6 billion industry.
I can't control an industry, but I can sure stand up and say this isn't cool.
As Bryce grapples with finding his footing with over 20 offspring, his donor children remain vigilant, awaiting their next sibling.